A lot to get to right now, though, with the panel as we wait for Donald Trump to make remarks tonight. With me tonight, CNN political commentator and Republican consultant Margaret Hoover, CNN political analyst and USA Today columnist Kirsten Powers, CNN political analyst and New York Times presidential campaign correspondent Maggie Haberman, CNN political commentator and Trump supporter Kayleigh McEnany, NationalMoveOn.org spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre, and Berkeley professor of public policy, former Labor Secretary Robert Reich. Maggie, first of all, we heard Donald Trump on the first stop of this tour go off prompter a fair amount. The second time, more kind of an orderly speech, kind of faster. What do you expect tonight?
Some version of those two things. Either he's going to go off prompter to some extent and he will stay on prompter to some extent. We are seeing Donald Trump as president-elect act every bit as Donald Trump, the candidate, did. We frequently during the campaign, as you know, talked about a planned pivot or a potential pivot, or he was going to change his behavior. None of that has happened. That includes his tweets. His Twitter behavior has been pretty familiar to what we have seen before. He is not interested in modulating or reining in his own behavior, and he clearly has something that he wants to say. Again, we may see some change once he gets into the White House and he doesn't have access to his cell phone the same way, which some people anticipate is going to happen. But for now, I think that you are going to see somebody who has a certain vision, who does not see a problem as president-elect singling out specific individuals by name. This is obviously very different doing that. It was pretty unusual to see somebody as a candidate doing it. It is very unusual to see a president-elect doing it. It is unusual to see almost everything we have seen with him so far. Some of this is probably going to augur to his benefit, some of it isn't, but he's not bending to the job so far.
Right. Kirsten, what do you make of the idea that a sitting president is going to continue to be executive producer of the Celebrity Apprentice?
It's insane. I mean, I think I really have decided to pace myself in terms of outrage, and I think that
don't put yourself out.
Yeah, no, but really I do feel it's not just this; it's the whole conflict of interest thing is really outrageous, and I almost feel like we've been numbed a little bit to just how outrageous it is.
Why is it outrageous? I mean, it's a TV show. What's the conflict?
The fact that because he's the president of the United States, he was elected for one job. And the one job he should be doing is taking care of business for the United States and not involving himself in other things. I don't care whether it's, The Apprentice or it's, his business, where there's a lot of conflicts of interest. But I think the conflicts of interest it's so outrageous when you think about what would have happened if Chelsea Clinton had been on the transition team and been working on the foundation, which is exactly what's happening with his children. They are still working for the company and they're on the transition team. And now we're hearing that, maybe he's going to hand it off to the children. I mean, this is really problematic.
New York Times now reporting to his two adult sons,
right.
Ivanka Trump.
Yeah. Here's the problem. I mean, I agree with everything you said, and there is nothing illegal about them doing it, which is the problem, right? This is totally legal for Donald Trump to continue to be a producer, to make money through other ways, and there's always just been a precedent and a propriety where presidents believe themselves to be needing to keep up a certain sense of the grandeur of the office and just eliminate any sense of conflict of interest.
Are you saying Celebrity Apprentice is not grand?
Of course I'm not saying that. Anderson. Truly, though, what will have to happen here is that Congress is going to have to pass a law or legislate in order for anything, and they probably won't do it until after, but this is what happens with precedents, right? FDR breaks the two-term precedent of Washington. It doesn't get changed until Congress passes a law. There are some things in American history that are just done because it is precedent and is respect for the office, and then they are changed because an individual believes himself to not necessarily need to live up to that precedent. And so we have to legislate if it's going to be changed.
Kayleigh, if President Trump starts tweeting about, hey, you should watch The Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, tonight, or giving a speech and sort of talking about, hey, everybody should watch Celebrity Apprentice. I mean, is that...
I don't think we will see him doing that. First of all, no, I don't think we will. This is an honorary position he's retaining. He has no editorial say in the show. He created the show alongside Mark Burnett. He was integral to it. So to say you should not take any money from this show going forward, I think is outrageous, first of all. And second of all, the idea that he's going to somehow feed NBC favors, I highly